Today, I'll be showing you how to go from zero to getting your first high-paying client from Instagram. Even if you have a zero audience, zero reach, you never even uploaded a photo to Instagram, you will be able to do this. Let's get into it. Let's imagine I wake up tomorrow and I see that I don't have my 400,000 followers on Instagram, 100,000 followers on Facebook and so on, that everything was lost. Why would I start posting on Instagram? Well, it's very simple. So firstly, Instagram is one of the most used social media. It has over 500 million active users daily, and a lot of businesses use Instagram to promote. Now, even more important thing is Instagram is very well optimized for selling because of advanced DM automations, which are only still coming to TikTok, for example. And anyone who's been working in online space knows that DMs are the place where conversions happen, especially for higher ticket offers. And the most important thing is you don't need to have 100,000 followers to sell anything. In fact, I would argue that it's better to have a smaller audience, like 1,000 to 10,000 people. Just imagine those 1,000 to 10,000 people are, let's say, business owners, wealthy individuals, or let's say you are selling business coaching and 10,000 businesses are following you. Isn't that way better than having a million useless followers who are not your target audience? That's why, because of these three things, Instagram is a very powerful social media for anyone to get higher paying clients. I'm especially talking about people who are selling high level offers that cost anywhere between $1,000 to $50,000 or more. And by the way, why should you sell higher level offers? Well, it's very simple actually. Let's say you're selling a $50 course. In order to sell that $50 course and to make $10,000, you need 200 freaking people to buy that course. But if you're selling a $5,000 coaching, you need only 2 people to buy in order to make $10,000 per month. And my recommendation is, if you don't have an offer which costs at least $2,000, $3,000 or $5,000, to make one, because that's the best way to make money today on any social media, including Instagram. This offer, which is a lower ticket offer, can be still used, but you can, for example, sell implementation, which is included in higher level offer. Just a small tip there. And as I said, if you're selling a higher level offer, you only need to sell to 2 people to make $10,000. Do you think it is easier to sell to 200 people or to 2 people? Especially when you don't have audience. Of course, it's easier to sell to only 2 people. By the way, I have a community where I help people make their first $10,000 in 90 days, and it's completely free to join for the first 7 days. Check the first link in the description and join 7 days for free, and I'll personally hop on a one-on-one call with you to help you out specifically for your business. Now, I'm going to explain the 4 elements you need to start a business on Instagram, to start making money. The first thing is offer clarity. As I said, I recommend having a higher level offer simply because it's way easier to make a lot of money with higher level offer than to sell lower level offer and expect those kinds of numbers. Whatever offer you sell, your offer needs to clearly state who you help, how you help, and in what time. And when I say how, I mean what's the outcome of that. So for example, in my community, I help people make their first $10,000 in 90 days using Instagram. In my higher level offer, I help coaches, consultants, and business owners get unlimited leads and clients without spending any money on ads. As you can see, the thing is, the higher level your offer is, the more specific you want to be in order to attract the right person. So you need to define your offer like this in order to move forward. Any other way, you don't have anything to sell actually. After that, the second thing you need is an optimized profile. And I could go talking about a profile for the next 15 minutes, but I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. While I'm talking about it, I'm going to show you a design on the screen which explains exactly what you need to optimize with your profile. To say it in a few words, you need a username which has a keyword, a name with your name and a couple of keywords, a bio that clearly shows who you help, how you help, what makes you unique, why trust you, and what next, meaning the call to action, a couple of highlights, and of course branded content which aligns with your niche. The important disclaimer is that your content needs to align with your offer, with your lead magnet, and everything else in order to get proper results. That simply means that if you post fitness content and you start promoting finance course, no one will be interested in purchasing that course simply because people aren't following you and aren't watching your content for that kind of offer. They are interested in fitness, if that makes sense. So when you have an optimized profile, and I sincerely recommend you screenshot that image which I showed on the screen. It's something that helped thousands of people get a lot more followers, leads, and clients, and it's such a simple fix. Do it right after this video. Third thing that you need to have is content, aka content strategy. Your content should fall within 3 levels of content if you want to get clients and leads, especially for higher level offers. So, as you know, funnel has many levels. It has, let's say, 3 levels like here. Well, I think your content is also a funnel in one way. So at the top, we have top of the funnel content. That content is the most shallow content and it's the simplest to understand for an average person. So that content is actually used to grab people who are still unaware about your niche, about your product or anything else in order to get them interested in your niche. Those would be memes, simple fixes, hacks, productivity, and so on. Especially for new accounts, this will be posted at least 3 to 5 times per week. Second level of content is more in-depth content. Those are tutorials, long lists, case studies, and so on. So if you have only this kind of content, and this is something that I struggled with for a long time, when you have only this type of content, people follow you, but they don't see you as a professional. It's made for people that follow you to understand that you are a professional. This should be posted at least 2 to 3 times per week. Now, of course, you need to fit it within this schedule. I recommend posting at least daily because really posting content on Instagram doesn't need to take a lot of time. You can create a post in 10 to 15 minutes and you can post daily. I recommend creating content weekly, by the way, for example, every Sunday, so it's easier to stay consistent. You simply post the other days and you create content in one day. So, and at the bottom of the funnel will be simple call to action content, inviting them to sign up for your new program, download your lead magnet, and so on. Or it can be testimonials, some more in-depth case studies, and so on. So this should be posted at least 1 to 2 times per week, in my opinion. So when you do it like this, you actually non-stop attract new people with top of the funnel content, nurture them within the middle of the funnel content, and convert them with the bottom of the funnel content. That's how you should approach the content side of things. Another very important thing in order to start getting clients from Instagram is the lead system. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you have a proper content funnel, just as explained, you're already getting leads. So anyone who likes your post, comments on your post, DMs you, all of those people are leads, aka potential clients. But that is only one part of the whole system. There are a lot of other parts which can be used in order to nurture those leads and to get them to convert. Of course, as I said, DMs are the main thing, messaging the right people, the right profile of your audience. Stories, I recommend posting at least 1 story per day, and I think your stories need to be very, very focused. So on my stories, I either promote my community and mention that you can join 7 days for free, or mention a testimonial and again tell them to join 7 days for free. Or when I'm running my higher level offer, I tell them to simply DM me to see if they qualify for that offer, but that's only a couple of days per month. Other than that, I only tell them to join the community, and I think you should do the same. When you're posting those stories, you should monitor who is liking those stories, replying to those stories, watching stories constantly, because you can DM those people if they are not purchasing themselves and offer some kind of incentive to purchase. And of course, every single content that you post needs to have a call to action. No matter if it's top of the funnel content, middle of the funnel, or bottom of the funnel content, call to action will convert them further into the system, especially if you have a lead magnet, which is very useful. For example, like I'm making this video right now, where you can send them this video with DM automation, ManyChat or Inro or any other tool. The very powerful thing about that is, even if you grab someone who is at the top of the funnel with the call to action inviting them to get a lead magnet, you're immediately getting them into the middle of the funnel. But now the middle of the funnel is not the content, it's emails that you will send them, DMs that you will use to contact them, and so on. So whatever you do, the whole goal is to move them from top of the funnel to further down into the funnel in order to filter people who are later on ready to buy. So now that you have all of those in place, you need to realize that there's basically three main ways to get leads and clients from Instagram. One way is using a lead magnet, as I explained, and that's probably the easiest way, because you can create a very useful video like this, and you can promote it on and on and on with call to actions simply by making content which is related to this main video, which sends them here and promotes them something else. That's probably the best way and works amazingly well in synergy with call to actions which are related to commenting and automating them with ManyChat. Second way is to use some kind of an upsell funnel, for example, directly from this. So I used one funnel like this before, where somebody would download the lead magnet and the next page they would see is like a $9 course that they have an option to purchase, and if they purchase, I know that they are a more serious lead. I would just mark it like this as an upsell. And in my opinion, the third best way to get leads is to monitor engagement, as I say. So other than lead magnet leads, anyone who engages with your content is a lead. So if they send a DM, they are a lead. If they comment, they are a lead. If they like, they are a lead. If they watch your stories, they are a lead. Now, the easiest way to really get clients is to post a bunch of content in the system that I explained and monitor who's constantly watching your stories, who's constantly commenting on your post, and then DMing those people, inviting them into a simple conversation. What's really important, especially when you're a smaller creator, is to not push people into the sale too early. Try to have a conversation, try to understand which pain points are they resonating with. What I usually do is I usually tend to DM people asking them, hey, insert their name, are you interested in getting leads and clients from your Instagram? And if they respond, we go into a simple conversation asking them what are their goals, what's their current revenue, and so on. And all of that is used to qualify people, so you don't need to get on calls with people who don't have relevant struggles that you can fix, who don't have money to purchase your offers, or who simply don't align with your offers. Because if anything of those happens, it's very hard to sell high-level offers. But if you find that right person, you just need to DM certain people to qualify them, to filter them, and that's how you get your first high-level client. So in my opinion, the best way is just to send a simple open-ended DM asking them if they are interested in achieving a result which you deliver with your high-level offer. If you're selling an offer which is cheaper than $1,000, I don't think it's a good idea to DM people. It's better to create a more expensive offer, which is very good for your target audience, and then sell them that for a certain price, which is far more worthwhile for you to send DMs than to simply pitch them a $50 offer. A lot of people who have money to purchase your offers are simply not interested in getting a community or getting a book and so on. They're interested in getting their problems fixed. If you can filter out those people and pitch them that offer, the money won't be the problem for them. And by the way, this is one of the things that I teach people in my community. As I said, I help people make their first $10,000 with Instagram in the next 90 days. And by the way, you can join 7 days completely free. So if you are serious about this stuff, I recommend joining right now from the first link in the description. So let's recap a bit. So basically, what you need is an offer, which I recommend to be a higher level offer. Then you need to optimize your profile to make it look professional, create a content strategy which get you right people into our funnel. Remember the 3 levels of the content strategy. And then you need a lead system that's gonna nurture those leads. As I said, it can be in the content itself, or it can be email marketing. Manually reaching out to people is also an option, and so on. And then when you get all of those leads, you want to engage them, especially in DMs, offer to solve their problem with your higher level offer, filter them out with the right questions. That's how you get your first higher level client. I hope that was useful for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video, so I know to make more videos like this. And if you're really interested in stuff like this and you want a complete system without figuring it out for months, join my community 7 days for free. I'll hop on a call with you and I'll help you do it. See you in the next one.